We're all about the Archers. I'm Philippa.
And I'm Lauren.
And we are here to talk to you all about what's happened so far this week. We will be focusing particularly on the episodes of Sunday the 21st of July, Monday the 22nd, and Tuesday the 23rd of July. There will be spoilers. You have been warned. So, Lauren, what did you think of the week so far? What did you think of tonight's episode?
Well, I'm going to launch straight in with, I think we need the whole episode dedicated to food. There was so many food references. So I know it's off kilter to what we normally do. We never normally start with food. But I even missed some tonight because I was scrabbling so much to keep a tab on all of the foraged foods that they've been eating, some of which sounded delicious. I'd be right down for some nettle pesto. I just couldn't keep up with it. So I didn't know if we wanted to start with food because there was so much of it.
And we have to give a round of applause to the writer this week, Tim Stimpson, because Tim, you've really pulled it out.
I've never seen so much Tim. Absolutely, me too.
Okay, so I've got salmon and potato salad, vinaigrette, vanilla and choc fudge tower, ice cream sundaes, bait for the flies, including onion rabbit, sardines and offal, mushrooms, cheese and chanterelle omelette, dandelion scones, chickweed salad, nettle pesto, goosegrass soup, cow parsley, sausages, smoked paprika, corned beef, chicken.
That it was the soup that I missed when I was scrabbling them down. Now I do also have organic veg from the organic veg patch, which hasn't happened yet, but they mentioned organic veg, didn't they? And
yes,
salad
you're absolutely
was
right.
The other one that I had as well.
Very good. Well done.
So
a huge list. But what did you think of this scene in the village shop? As soon as I knew Paul was going round to the shop, I just thought...
It was so horrible. But I can't deny, one of my faves this week was Paul bursting in on Alistair and Denise to say that, well, you won't need to tell him because he's heard it all. So
he must have been pressed up to that door listening.
Yeah, that's what I thought, they were talking... So quietly, weren't they? They were sort of talking, and I'll come round and see you later.
And he's never heard anything before.
No.
Even when they're in the stationery cupboard and the door seems thinner there, he's not heard anything. So he must have been pressed right up.
I thought the whole shop interaction, it was awkward, it was horrible. And I actually thought, and I know you're a Paul fan, Philippa, I know you're a Paul fan. But I thought the way he spoke to Alistair, calling him disgusting, was a bit too much, if I'm being honest. Also, how old is he?
Agree.
Is he not being a bit childish about all this? Is he acting a little bit like? Yeah. How old is he?
Well, he's gone through all his training, so I'm thinking late 20s.
Yeah, that's what I would
30s.
have thought. Early 30s. Yeah, that's what I would have thought.
Yeah, I mean, Neil's cough in the shop when Paul had spoken his truth. I thought, and even though I couldn't see Susan's face, I could picture it, her mouth wide open and her ears on full receive, data assimilation incoming. I just thought that was, But I agree, I didn't like Paul's behaviour, but I don't want to get in the habit of blaming Denise, as some people have in this episode. Yeah. However, I do think that the way she just put off telling Paul, and that's led to this. Yeah. It could have been handled better. So I do think that's partly laid at her door.
Paul will live to regret that he's sort of... I mean, yeah, it's going to be super awkward for a long time, I imagine, work. But to sort of say to your boss, I think he said shove off, didn't he? Which I haven't heard anyone say shove off in years. Shove off. But yeah, to sort of just to fling that back, and I know he's in a reactive state, isn't he? But yeah, I thought the way he was behaving was quite awkward and horrible. And yeah, although I did love it when he found out, and I was like, but yeah,
it's because he said to Alistair earlier on this week, I'm glad she's got you to lean on. I mean, he didn't realise how much she was leaning on him, but, how glad he was, and now he's not glad at all.
Thank you, Alistair, for taking my mum to hotels and having secret stuff with going on with her, yeah. Oh, dear.
But Yes, so I was cross with Paul, and I wasn't that impressed with Ben, actually, because he was saying to Lily, oh, Alistair's made a mistake, and Denise is younger. And I was impressed with Lily. I don't know what's going on, because she was saying, yeah, don't judge. I thought, oh, my goodness, everyone's changing in my mind.
I remember that Russ and Lily thing was quite the talking point for a long, long time, wasn't it? So to hear Russ's name brought up, I thought that was a bit of a blast from the past. There was also another mention of Roy. Speaking of blast from the past, there was another mention of Roy, wasn't there? Having a lovely time learning Bulgarian and all of that. So that's very nice, isn't it, to hear that that's still going on.
That was a huge fave. I've drawn 4 love hearts by that, because
lovely.
it's, he's gone over the rainbow to Bulgaria, and I do love it. I think it's wonderful.
The fact that they're still checking in on him as well, he's still getting name checked. It's really lovely. Because it was just lovely.
But we missed World Ice Cream Day. I didn't even know that had happened.
I did know. It come up on my computer. Yeah. I'm not a massive ice cream fan, though.
Oh.
Are you?
I'm surprised. Oh, yes. Give me a tub of Haagen-Dazs, pralines and cream, and I'm
I like
in.
it.
Yeah.
I'll eat it, but I'd much rather have like a big cheese plate. I could eat a cheese plate right now, actually.
Oh no, sweet not savoury. Thank you very much.
Well, we'd be perfect together then, wouldn't we?
We would. We wouldn't steal each other's
No, it'll be
food.
lovely.
But there were 2 flavours. There were 2 specials, ice cream specials, and we heard the one was this vanilla and choc fudge tower that wasn't a very secure tower by the sound of it. But I was just wondering what the other flavour might be. I mean, you might like it to be a cheese ice cream flavour, but I was thinking maybe it's something fruity.
Oh, maybe apple-y. Maybe.
Oh.
Do you know, once I had a chili ice cream, and it was the most unusual sensation ever. It's just like sort of eating this very cold ice cream, but as soon as you stopped, the burn would happen on your tongue. It was very unusual. Not
Susan
for you.
and Neil might like that because they're into their chili, but no, it's not got me. What did you think about Ed and Emma's tree cutting job?
It was all very full on, wasn't it? Very, very full on. There was lots of they were taking themselves very seriously, but also no sort of urgency around them. When Brian was like, "Look, we're going to need to get this road open," and Ed was like, "Yeah, well, let me have a little look over here, and maybe we could do it." Something I did notice is that George was sort of willingly helping them out with no pushback at all. And I wonder if he's maybe he's working so hard. I mean, I've always thought, many things I can say about George, I've always thought he's a very, very hard worker. But I wonder if this hard working at the moment is to keep his mind off of other things. What do you think?
Yes, and maybe to try and keep in favour. So people say when they find out, well, yes, he did set Alice up for prison and cause harm to people, but he's a good hard worker, so we'll let him off. I don't know.
Try and take, Ed really had to push that 50 quid on him, so we'll remember that when we realise that he's sent Alice to prison.
It made me laugh because Ed said it was ever so hard sorting the tree out because it was hard due to tangled branches. I thought, Ed, that's a tree. The tree is tangled branches.
That's your job.
I wondered if they have a bat phone that these emergency calls come on. It was just
I've been amazed
a call coming.
At how much work they've managed to get, considering they're completely unestablished. And all of a sudden they're just so busy.
Yes, but are they actually going to get paid? Because this chap is sort of... I think someone else mentioned it on the Facebook group that I've forgotten the guy's name that that they're getting these jobs from. I did write it down somewhere, but Hank Graucott, that's it. Oh. I do wonder if he's not actually going to end up paying them. I know they got the tip from Brian, but is it going to be that they do all these jobs for Hank?
Oh, I hadn't even thought that. I mean, that's their luck, really, isn't it? Through. That's their sort of luck. So you can imagine that happening to them. So many birthdays at the moment as well. It's Emma's birthday, the twins' birthdays, birthday city. How do you think you would feel as a 2-year-old getting an organic veg patch for your birthday?
Well, I think they've done a lot and it seemed lovely.
Yeah.
I think, they're just happy with a bit of
a box
mess in a cardboard box. Yeah. So, but I thought it was a lovely idea.
Yes.
And very well intentioned.
Yeah.
And yes, that I was okay with that. I thought that was quite a nice thing. What did you think?
Well, I thought it was a nice idea. I was just thinking, like, how much a two-year-old's going to be into this. But I did like the idea of those boiler suits. I thought they sounded very, very cute.
Yeah. Yes.
Little boiler suits.
And their own mini polytunnel.
I know.
Yes. Absolutely lovely. Now, what did you think? What else did I want to ask you about? Oh, yes. Elizabeth and Vince. Vince on his laptop, Googling problems with bullying and his policies, and Elizabeth's advice. Thoughts, Lauren?
Well, the whole thing, I feel quite bad for Freddie about it all, because I really feel like everything is out of his control in terms of he spoke to his boss about it. He didn't have any interest in it. Lily's absolutely run with it, so that it's not even out. It's out of Freddie's control in terms of that as well, because she's now told Ben. I just feel bad about the whole thing, and I really don't feel like it was Vince's place to be talking to Elizabeth about it, even though he was sort of anonymising things. It didn't feel right to me.
Yeah, I agree. And I thought Elizabeth's advice was appalling. You know, sit down with the person who's being vile to you and have a chat. I can only imagine that Antonio paid lip service to it in the meeting, and it's going to come back.
I know,
to bite Freddie even more. I
feel
am
bad because
concerned.
I feel like Freddie was quite established at the old. Oh my God, what's it called? Where were they working?
Before the abattoir, when he was working at Lower Loxley.
No, the abattoir is what I'm talking about. Like it felt like that was going to be his route, and he'd got on a good thing there, and I quite liked him being there, and now I just feel like it's all ruined for him.
And it made me cross with Elizabeth because she she aided the trustees hoiking him out of working at Lower Loxley, and she's not really helped this time. So, yeah, not impressed. I just want to talk a bit about Alistair because I am worried about him. I don't know if you know his background with his gambling.
Oh, no, I don't. Oh.
Okay, so Alistair has had a rough time in the past. He was going to marry Shula, and then she'd had an affair, and he still married her and adopted her son.
Oh, so
then,
Dan
of course, she decided.
Son?
No.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And then, obviously, Shula decided after some time that she didn't want to be married to him anymore. Then he had that vet join him. Was it Anisha who was going to do lots, and then she
was
left?
Scottish, wasn't she? She left. That was when I just started listening, actually.
And he's 62, living with his dad, and he has fallen in love, and he got into terrible financial problems gambling before. I think it was about £100,000 in debt. I mean, it was really serious, and he got into gambling as a way of, as I believe people do, to try and control all the awful stuff that was happening in their lives. And I am worried that he will go back to this. And he was saying to Paul, I love you, your mum. Alistair, I really worry about him. I hope he's going to be okay.
I hope so too. I didn't know the history at all. I'd known that I remember Shula sort of leaving him a bit. It come as a bit of a surprise, didn't it? That Shula was just like, actually, this isn't working out for me. So I didn't realise there was a history of bad stuff that's been going on. Oh, hopefully. I mean, I'm hoping this will all they can't have thought that Paul. I mean, the ways Paul's acted, none of them could have thought it would have gone down well with him, could they?
No, hopefully time will tell, but it's not good. And the other, changing subject briefly before we get on to Star of the Week, which we must. Natasha, we've heard this week talk about her, that she gets carried away, quite a force of nature when she's set on an idea. And I thought, oh, good Lord, am I Natasha? Exactly.
That's not what I thought you were going to say. That's absolutely creased me up. Oh, good Lord. Am I Natasha? You're not Natasha.
Yes.
But I love you.
When I get set an idea.
Yeah, you do.
You're
there. That's it. The idea. We've got the idea now. That's good to go. No.
Yes.
Because you are prepared to take on others' feedback, whereas Natasha just runs with things forever. Oh God, I find her quite insufferable as well, and like just sort of barreling in and then just making this hen do something that's not what it was supposed to be in the first place. One of my predictions actually is that I think Fallon might end up leaving the tea room and doing I feel like she'd be much happier doing this sort of thing by herself, and I think there's a market for it. But yeah, that really creased me up.
Okay, star of the week. Who? Yes, am I? Who is your star of the week?
I've just realised I haven't even written down a star of the week. Who deserves a star of the week from me? Alistair, just to sort of poor old Alistair, just give him something to be pleased about. But I mean, can I take the writer for all those lovely food references? Tim.
Yes, you can.
I'll give it to Tim.
That's a good one.
Thanks, Tim.
I did wonder about Hilda running away from Tom and Pat. But no, Alistair is my star of the week because I'm worried about Alistair and I hope it's going to be okay. Okay, you mentioned a prediction. Any more predictions?
No, that was it for me. I just and also I feel like is it building up for George? Is something going to happen? We're just hearing about how he's such a hard worker and all of this sort of thing. Is something in the post for George?
Yes, it could be. You're absolutely right. Well, my prediction, I wondered if Paul is going to report Alistair to Lovell James.
I wondered that. Actually, you're right there, because there was so much fuss he made about that spare ibuprofen. Do you remember? Was it anti-inflammatory or something? And there was so much fuss created, and it went on for episodes and episodes, and now I feel like, maybe he's got some stuff there which would upset Alistair even more.
What we need is Jim to talk to Paul and just set him straight.
Yeah.
With Jim's wise words, and then maybe Paul will come round. I do hope that Paul eventually will come round, but I think it's going to be a bit tricky, unfortunately.
I think so too.
But we do need to say a huge welcome to everyone that's joined us from reading about us in the Sunday Times.
Oh God, I was so excited.
Very exciting.
So excited that we were in the Sunday Times. Sunday Times bestsellers? No, just Sunday Times mentions. Culture vultures.
Yeah, so that was very, very exciting. And I should just say, if you like your biscuit chat, as we do, you will be very welcome in the Facebook group. We've got over 3,000 members there now, which is fantastic. And there's a lot of biscuit chat, so do join us there. Saturday, we will be back. We have a special bonus episode, which all will be revealed on Saturday. But that's something audio only on the podcast to look forward to. But I think that's it. I think we've covered the week so far. We'd better be on our way.
Lovely. And I've just made some biscuits as well. I've made some triple ginger biscuits. How would you enjoy those? No, she wouldn't enjoy those. I thought you were going to
say triple chocolate.
Triple ginger.
I was in if they were triple chocolate.
No, triple ginger. But biscuit chat nevertheless.
Yes, we'll cope with it. So until Saturday, it's a goodbye from me.
And a goodbye from me. Goodbye.